Oh, senpai. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos, and welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else lie to you and tell you otherwise. Sometimes you just feel the need to vent your deepest, darkest secrets. Because sometimes they are just a little bit too heavy to carry on your own. And who do you go to? Trusted friends and family? Your loved ones? Your partner? You go to Reddit! You go to r/OffMyChest and vent your deepest, darkest secrets. And that is why we are reading r/OffMyChest today together. Enjoy. Mwah. I think my dad retired just to silently watch my life fall apart. My dad retired last year. Everyone thought he would start golfing, fishing, maybe traveling. Instead, he keeps showing up at my apartment unannounced. He doesn't talk much. He just sits with me, fixes little things, eats whatever I have, which is usually nothing, and leaves after an hour or two. I thought it was annoying at first, but recently I realized he only started doing this after my breakup. He never asks how I'm doing, never brings up the breakup, never pushes. Last week he walked in, saw my laundry piled up, dishes everywhere, unopened mail. He didn't comment, he just quietly started washing dishes while humming the same off-key tune he used to sing when I was a kid, and I just felt myself crack a little. I think my dad realized I'm depressed before I did, and somehow he found this gentle, non-invasive way of keeping me afloat without making me feel like a burden. I don't know how to tell him I noticed, or that I'm grateful, or that I'm scared for the day he stops coming by. Oh my god, that is so incredibly sweet, man. After all the insane parent posts we have read on this channel, this really brings me some hope about humanity. And don't be worried that he's going to stop. He started doing this on his own accord before you yourself even realized it's what you needed. And I don't think he's gonna stop anytime soon unless, you find yourself in a new relationship or recovered from what you're dealing with. You're gonna do absolutely just fine. And I think he knows that you appreciate it. But in time, you can also return the gesture when you feel ready to. This is truly what family is supposed to be. I dumped my girlfriend because she made a test Instagram story, and I failed. I, 26M, broke up with my girlfriend of 9 months yesterday because I am apparently supposed to treat her Instagram like a job interview. She posted a black screen to her story with the caption, "Some people really disappoint you, lol." No context, no explanation, just that. So I ignored it, because I'm not a mind reader and I'm not going to play high school games. I assumed it was about one of her friends or just her being passive-aggressive about work or whatever. Well, apparently that was a test. No, not the Instagram tests, man, no. She told me I failed because I didn't message her right away asking what was wrong. She said it showed I don't care enough to check in. I mean, the mature, adult, reasonable thing to do here is to dump her immature, mind game playing ass. But you can also play into it if you want to be a little bit unhinged. You can just tell her that, hey honey, last week I posted the same kind of story about life being hard right now, and you didn't even see it. Oh my god, how dare you accuse me of not caring when you didn't even watch my manipulative mind-playing game story? I mean, maybe at that point you're just meant for each other, but that would be really funny. Anyway, please dump her, thank you. I told her I don't check Instagram every few minutes, and if she has a problem with me, she should act like an adult and talk to me, instead of fishing for attention through vague stories. She said I was being cold and emotionally unavailable. Wait a second, so that implies that she is the emotionally available one, even though instead of communicating concerns directed to your partner, you vague post on Instagram instead. How is that? Emotional availability. And they are wondering why birth rates are going down. Fuck me, man. I said she was being manipulative and immature. She cried, I packed my stuff. She is still messaging me, telling me I am heartless for leaving over one small thing. But it's not one small thing. It's the million little red flags I have ignored for far too long. The tests, the mood swings, the social media drama. I am not dating a puzzle I have to solve daily just to avoid a tantrum. I want peace, not stories written in invisible ink that I'm expected to decode while she sits there with her arms crossed, waiting to see if I love her enough to notice. Done, blocked, logged out. I feel like I can breathe again. I just picture what the relationship would be like if both people were like this, Imagine both people just vague posting horrific shit to their stories or whatever instead of just talking. And all their friends and family are sitting there watching both their stories pop up like, oh my god, I can't believe some females just don't understand maturity. Oh my god, the feeling when someone close to you doesn't care. And so on and so forth. Can you imagine just being the observer to something like that and how incredibly unhinged it must look? Oh my god, man. I lied my way through a job interview, got hired, and now I am in over my head, but no one seems to notice. I applied for a job I wasn't qualified for out of desperation. I had been unemployed for 4 months, rent was due, and I was down to my last $300. The job posting was looking for someone with 2 to 3 years of experience, in a field I had barely touched. I had none. So I googled some terminology, watched a few crash courses, and walked into the interview like I belonged there. Threw around a few buzzwords I barely understood and smiled a lot. Somehow, it worked. They offered me the job the next day. Oh, hell no. Does this mean that the boomers actually have a point when they're just like, walk into the nearest workplace with a steady handshake and they'll offer you a job? Oh no. Now I have been working here for 3 weeks, and every day I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope. I have 20 tabs open at all times, ChatGPT, Reddit, Stack Overflow, YouTube tutorials, just to survive the day. What is crazy is that no one has said anything. My manager compliments me. People come to me with questions. I am scared they will eventually realize I'm improvising everything. I mean, I don't know what kind of position this is about, to be honest, but when I used to work as an engineer, you do kind of improvise for the first few months of the job, and that was a job I had experience with, because at any new workplace you always have new systems or something new to learn, etc., etc. I mean, maybe I wouldn't go to a job that requires 3 years of experience with 0. That seems a little bit overkill. But like any workplace, any reasonable workplace expects you to be a newbie for a reasonable amount of time. So maybe they haven't noticed yet, and with a bit of luck, you'll be all caught up and like fluent by the time they expect you to be more of a veteran. So there you go. You're still in the learning phase. Fake it till you make it, I guess, is a thing, huh? But at the same time, I am learning fast. I've already automated part of my workflow. I fixed something yesterday that the team had been ignoring for months. I don't know if I am still faking it or actually growing into it. You see, that's what I mean. Everyone is a newbie at a workplace, even if you have experience with it, because every company has different systems or different tasks or clients or whatever it is. So maybe you're just learning fast enough to make up of these 2 to 3 years of experience. Anyway, you know, sometimes experience also means that people have just been sitting and rotting at the same desk for a while anyway. But I have never been this motivated or this scared in my life. I mean, an appropriate amount of pressure is a really good motivator. Just don't overdo it, because that's when you get stressed all the time and eventually burn out. But if you actually grow into the role and you feel the stress gradually reducing over time, then maybe this is gonna be a good gig. Just don't let anyone find out you lied in the beginning, I suppose, and eventually you'll be a vet in your new position. Congratulations, get at it, my boy. A man at my wife's workplace has been sexually harassing her, but honestly, I feel like it's her fault. That's a pretty wild title. I understand why the account is deleted. She's the one who chose to work from home. And she knows how I feel about that ass. Okay, that's... Okay, that is not where I thought this was going. Like, that title, along with the deleted account, just screams a comment section that absolutely blew up. Just make sure you allow her to harass your bot as much as you are harassing hers. We are all about equality in this workplace, after all. Harassment for everyone. Woo!
When I started working from home, my office sent the workplace harassment poster I was supposed to put up by my workstation. Looks kinda weird next to my dining table. But after reading your post, now I know why it's necessary.
Yeah, it's crazy how important that stuff is. Definitely something no one should ignore, even if it feels awkward at home. Indeed, no harassment in the marriage. No hand-holding until married. No hand... Wait. My dad accidentally sexted me. Accidentally... He sent the message, "Can't wait to do that butt again, Kelly," which would be merely embarrassing if my mom's name is Kelly, but it isn't. That's my aunt's name. What the f***? No. No. When I told him to check who is messaging, he quickly told me that my mom sometimes roleplays as my aunt. Something you casually share with your kids. Hey kiddo, your mom sometimes dresses up as her sister, and we just go to town. Okay, there is no explanation to this. That is good, but most likely, he's cheating on his wife. with her sister and accidentally sexting the kid and not trying to play it off as they're just into like some fucking family kinks. Oh my god, no. Said that he isn't cheating on her. I just don't know how to feel right now. I mean, this is the kind of moment I would probably just low-key tell your mom. You know, I am usually one for not getting involved in others people's intimacy and privacy. But when it comes to like illegal shit, creepy stalky shit, or cheating, that's when you kind of say something, you know, because that's what you would expect from the people around you as well. If your partner was going around sleeping with your siblings, I would hope for my friends or family to low-key take my side about it. So I think those instances kind of trump the rule of not getting involved. Or you're gonna have a really fun conversation with your mom about why she loves to dress up as her sister. You know, this could only end well. I swear to God, in 1,000 years, this is the stuff that archaeologists will dig up, and it will define our time here on this earth. Next post. My 15-year-old just came home because a situation felt icky. As the title says, my 15-year-old daughter was supposed to go to dinner with some friends and sleep over at her girlfriend's home over at the next town. Suddenly, she calls and says something doesn't feel right. I am coming home. She doesn't know why or where this feeling came from. Let's say it was a sixth sense. I mean, something I would like to call the gut feeling. Gut feelings are surprisingly accurate because it's your body's way of telling you something is off by like small cues. They might not be big enough for you to analytically understand them yet, but at an instinctual level, your body has picked up something that gives you a bad vibe, and it's usually worth listening to. But I am so immensely proud of her. She felt something was off and decided to go home instead of waiting to see what would happen. I try so hard to keep my girls safe from the world we live in, and turns out just teaching them to trust their gut is what matters. I know this and always said it, but I wouldn't think she would understand. She did tonight, and kept herself safe by trusting her instincts and calling us, her parents. Update, some people question what happened for her to feel this way, but her gut feeling was right. Apparently a couple of the boys got drunk and got a bit handsy. The other girl is okay though. Some other boy defended her and brought her home. Luckily he was there and was against those actions, but it could have ended way differently. Next to that, thank you all for the kind words, and I will definitely get us to book The Gift of Fear. For all those people commenting on that it's probably anxiety, there is a big difference between anxiety and your gut telling you something is off. Yes, it's a very big feeling. As someone who has experienced both, a professional anxiety and gut haver, it's very different things. Yes, it's very different. I've experienced both, as well as my daughter. We have a very good relationship and good communication. And if it would have been anxiety, drugs, alcohol, she would have told me so. I know some people will be skeptical anyways, but if you raise your kid with respect to the person they are, and give them the tools to succeed at adult life, you get a long way. I think trusting your gut feeling is very important, and it's not the same as having anxiety. Like, the best way I could describe it for someone that hasn't experienced in that way, perhaps, is like anxiety can be described best as, for example, nervousness before you get on a stage and talk to people, or whatever the equivalent might be for you. That is vastly different than a bad gut feeling. A bad gut feeling can feel much less intense than that, but it can be like a bad vibe, typically from a person or an environment. For example, one gut feeling that I have realized a lot is that I can usually tell when someone is going to be troublesome later on during an evening, for example, during a social gathering or a party. And surprisingly, it is so accurate, and I still don't know exactly what it is I pick up on. When people ask me, I usually say that, oh yeah, you can kind of tell by their eyes, but I can't say for sure, like, what to look out for more specifically. I just know that something is off about this person, and about 3 beers, they are gonna be a problem, and we're probably gonna have to toss them out. And usually, it's absolutely correct. I don't know exactly why, but gut feelings are important. Listen to them. My dad secretly paid off my student loans, but I found out he did it, and I don't know how to feel. 2 months ago, I got a letter saying my entire $68K student loan balance was paid off. I thought it was a scam at first, but after calling the service, they confirmed it. A family member made a full payment. I immediately knew it was my dad. He's always been supportive, though not the emotional type. I called him crying, thanking him. He brushed it off and said, "Don't worry about it. Just focus on living your life." It wasn't until last week that my mom told me he did it. He sold the Harley he's been restoring since before I was born. The one he used to tell me would be his retirement ride. He sold it quietly to some collector in another state and used every penny to clear my debt. He's 61, works maintenance at a plant. His knees are shot. That bike was the one indulgence he ever allowed himself. I don't even know if I should thank him again or apologize. I feel both incredibly loved and incredibly guilty. He traded his dream for my freedom, and I don't know how to carry that. I just needed to tell someone, because I can't stop thinking about it. Man, the parental stories today are just so incredibly sweet, aren't they? And I wouldn't feel bad about this. Like, I completely understand the mixed feelings about it, but maybe a better way to think about it is that your future and well-being is a higher priority in his dreams than a specific bike. Surgeon made fun of my penar. I, 32M at the time, am a big dude of 2 meters and 120 kilos, 6'6", 250 pounds, in drunk pirate units, I was gonna say freedom units, and had to have surgery on my calves because of varicose veins. So the day of, I was told to get completely undressed to put on the geriatric open back gown, which due to my frame made me look like Donald Duck, if you know what I mean. I was led by a nurse and placed on a cold metal table. They administered some local anesthesia to my legs, and after about 10 minutes laying naked in a cold, brightly lit room waiting to be sliced up, the 2 doctors strolled in. I was very anxious, cold, and self-conscious, so I just stayed still. Nurse. Anesthesia was given, patient ready. Doc 2 walks to the table. Wow, big fucker, and such a small penis! Doc 2. Ha ha ha! Me. What? Nurse. Panic! Oh no! You have the wrong patient file. This one isn't the fully sedated one. He is awake! Doc 1. Doc 2. Me. What? So yeah, nobody said another word to me for the rest of the operation. Just 200 decibels of awkward silence while they ripped veins out of me. It felt like Ricky Gervais wrote this scene. I should have walked out, but I was too shocked to even think. When they were done, they exchanged quiet words with the nurse and quickly walked out. It was a bit shocking, but I quietly laughed it off. I mean, they weren't wrong, but man, some people. Edit, this was 10 years ago. I am fine. Oh my god, I hope they were too embarrassed to ever do this again. I mean, even if the person is sedated, I mean, crap talking a sedated person sounds like, I don't know, very douchey. The mean girl to nurse pipeline is more and more confirmed by the day. GF cheated with my brother. Oh, maybe it's the same family as the one who was like texting the aunt, and you know, but no, it's your mom role-playing as her sister. So anyway, today is the last day I will ever talk to my girlfriend or my brother. I am typing this in a bathroom stall as she, him, and a bunch of our friends drink in the bar. They don't know that I know what they did. They don't know I have seen their texts to each other. My friends don't know I know they covered for them on multiple occasions. I am enjoying this last night, and then blocking them on everything and moving to Chicago, and never contacting them again. That is the worst feeling of betrayal. I mean, it's one thing to be cheated on, but to be cheated on and have your entire social circle that you thought were your friends cover for them and absolutely icing you out of the truth of the situation that is hurting you the most is absolutely crazy. This friend group sucks. Update. I sent the screenshots of the text to my parents and the partners of the friends who helped cover it up. All their numbers have now been blocked. A friend of mine who wasn't involved is going to text me how they all react when they find out. Currently at the airport. My flight is in an hour. Thank you all for the words of support. Made me feel a lot less poopy about this whole thing. Update. Landed safe, could barely sleep thinking about everything. Apparently 2 of the friends that covered it up are denying knowing anything, and this has caused a huge fight between them and my brother and my ex. Brother and ex seem pretty humiliated by the whole thing. Oh yeah, they should. They definitely should. She hasn't been able to stop crying. World's smallest violin plays. My parents have supported me, saying he's completely in the wrong and they're ashamed of him for what he's done. They're a little upset with me for moving, but they have ultimately agreed they can't blame me. I still don't think it's settled in that I won't be coming home for birthdays or Christmas or anything yet. One of the friends who helped cover it up has already been dumped by their girlfriend. It seems that there is a chain reaction of consequences, which is very nice. Because even if the core friend group is supportive of this kind of garbage, they all have other friends, or girlfriends, or parents, or other people in their lives that won't see very kindly on this thing. So hopefully this means that that friend group just absolutely implodes. She sent me a long text about how she feels sorry for me and how we've all been blindsided by extremely selfish behavior. She apologized and said she wishes she knew what was going on. My ex and brother are attempting to contact me. Their numbers are blocked on my phone. My good friend told me they are asking to use other people's phone to talk to me. Not sure if they're gonna deny it or admit it. I don't care, to be honest. I am done with both of them. The only apology I have had is from someone who wasn't even to blame, just someone who dated one of the friends. I think that tells me everything I need to know about these people. Chicago is beautiful. I'm headed into the restaurant I'll be working at next week, and I'm gonna introduce myself to everyone before I start. Tonight's agenda is getting plastered and getting laid. I have been calm with everyone up to this point. I deserve to blow off some steam. Thank you for all your kind words and support. What an absolutely garbage group of people. I wonder if these kind of people realize that they could also be the next person in line when they choose to spend time with these sort of people. Like, if the group of people you're in are actively covering a cheating story, what's to say that they wouldn't do the same to you if your partner decided to get frisky with someone else in the group or whatever? Like, that's what doesn't get me about these groups. Like, do you think you're immune to the betrayal you're a part of dishing out? You know, why would you even spend time in this kind of group even if you're currently not the target yourself? But it sounds like karma is kind of coming around for these people, and I hope you rebuild your life and don't have to deal with them anymore. I'm really sorry to hear that they betrayed you like this, but it sounds like you're also cutting them off in the healthiest way possible. Wife dropped her hadonkama dorkers on my face. Last night she had me lay in her lap while she dropped her hadonkama dorkers on my face. Her objective was to hit me in the eye. What she doesn't know was that the stress of tomorrow, the mortgage payment, a growing piece of groceries went out the window the moment she saved me from going insane. I thank her for giving me a chance to put all the stress aside and just enjoy a goofy yet serene moment. I told my wife thank you for her actions that evening, and she knew I was stressed. Then proceeded to pin me down and tickle me. I'm not weak, but she was an MMA fighter and trains horses, so I was forced to take it.
Now that I think about it, my husband is looking a little stressed.
You know what to do. My girlfriend's dad apologized to me years after breaking us up. When I was 19, I dated a girl whose dad hated me. He thought I was a waste of potential because I was working retail instead of going to college. He pressured her until she broke up with me. That was 11 years ago. I never saw her again. Last week, I was at a hardware store when a man stopped me and said my name. It was him. I barely recognized him. Gray hair, softer voice. He told me he still thought about what he did. He said, I ruined something good because I was proud. He told me his daughter married someone successful, and it ended badly. He then said, I was wrong about you. I hope you found happiness. I just stood there. The 19-year-old in me wanted to say everything I'd held in, but all I said was, I did. I haven't stopped thinking about it since. I didn't realize how much weight I was still carrying from something that ended over a decade ago. It sounds like he grew, and your response showed that you did too. A double win. That sounds like a very nice piece of closure, if nothing else, to be honest, and it shows that everyone in the situation has kind of grown and mature, even the people who probably should have been grown and mature at the time, but at least they changed for the better in the past 10 years or so. That's kind of a nice, like, ending to the story despite everything. To the man who sold my wife bacon today. I have fought depression for over 20 years now, with little able to affect it. Because of this, my outlook on life has become increasingly cynical and misanthropic. Over 12 years ago, at a particular low point in my life, desperate once again for a change, I decided to adopt a dog that needed love, compassion, and a home. For 12 years, this dog has been by my side every step of the way, highs and lows, and has helped me ward off my demons in a way more meaningful and impactful than the unfathomable amount of money I've spent on drugs, medication, and therapy over 2 decades. When he got cancer the first time, I thought I would lose him, but he rallied and recovered most of the way. And yet here we are, 4 years later, 2 days away from his final rest. My heart and mind immeasurably shattered. My wife, on a mission to give our dog the best last few meals he could ever imagine, went to the store on the hunt for something 2 vegetarians know little about: meat. During her quest, she, unlike a man, asked for directions, so to speak, and sought the advice of the butcher.
Is this bacon any good?
Yeah, it's fine. What are you using it for? Tearfully.
It's my dog's last few days. I just want them to be special.
The man took the bacon from my wife, went to the back and produced 2 big slabs of pork belly bacon, and marked it down from $25 to $3 for her. He explained how to prepare it, and what might work for our dogs for the last few meals. This act of kindness may, single-handedly, have helped me back on a path to remind myself some people are good. Some people still have compassion. Thank you, sir. May your life be forever blessed. Thank you all for the thoughtful responses. Know that Mr. Bo is loved and well looked after with a belly full of bacon, pureed sweet potato, blueberries, and whipped cream. Many of you have offered words of condolences, and I just don't have the energy to respond to them individually. I expected this to fall on the wayside. Thank you all. Bo has been given a long hug from each of you. That is so sweet. I hope they enjoyed all of the bacon. in their last couple of days. That sounds amazing. And this kind of stuff really does give you hope about the world we live in. I think we sometimes get a bit carried away focusing on the negatives of the world we live in, especially when it feels like everything is just engagement bait and algorithmically fueled nowadays. Stuff like this still very much exists, and it's worth pointing out. My husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. I mean, isn't it a bit of a red flag that it's called a work wife to begin with? Oh well. I, 31F, am at my wit's end with my husband's, 32M, co-worker Sarah, 30F, and his complete inability to see what's happening. I am not usually one for Reddit, but I need to know if I am going crazy here. I mean, is he the one referring to it as work wife? That would be kind of a red flag to begin with. Where do I even start? 3 years ago, my husband Mark started working with Sarah. Oh, that's me? Okay, it's not me. It's not me, I promise. I don't have a real job. At first, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her to our barbecues, included her in group outings, and genuinely tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the entire time making backhanded comments about everything from my career. Oh, you're just a yoga instructor? How peaceful. To my cooking. I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning. The real problem is that Mark thinks she's just being funny. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. Who does that? I mean, even if they aren't making a move on your husband, why would anyone keep a person this unpleasant around? Like, they throw away things that aren't theirs, they complain about food when they're invited to places, they make passive-aggressive comments about other people's job, etc., etc. Like, if someone was treating a loved one of mine in this way, I just wouldn't invite them again, or I would kick them out on the spot. Like, this is so far across any line. Like, even if you want to deny the flirting or whatever is gonna go on later on in the story, this is definitely enough to just cut them off. Jesus Christ. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. When I got upset, Mark said I was being too sensitive and that Sarah just has high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding photo on it! Oh my god, okay. Like, sure, I still wouldn't, like, throw away other people's things. But if it was, like, a half-broken, ugly, washed-out mug with, like, some random, you know, whatever, like, sure, I can see how that would, like, mistakenly be recycled in, like, an office, like, clean-out. But something with the wedding picture on it is pretty obviously pretty damn personal, okay? Like, goddamn. I cannot imagine being the husband in this situation and like defending some random a-hole from the office that is insulting your wife and throwing away your wedding pictures. Like goddamn, dude. Some greatest hits from Sarah. She scheduled a mandatory work dinner on our anniversary. Yeah, totally not on purpose. She convinced Mark to not take a promotion because it could mean working with a different team. Yeah. She posts daily photos of them together with hashtags like work power couple and work spouse. Okay, so she is actually actively, unironically calling it an office husband. Holy shit. She tells everyone at their office that she takes better care of him than I do. Why is your husband okay with this? Your husband is already emotionally cheating, if he's okay with this, you know? And even if he's too dense to realize he's emotionally cheating, which would be very surprising, he's such a dunce that he's not worth being a husband anyway. Oh my god. She changed his coffee order and now tells everyone she trained him right. The worst part? My husband is completely blind to all of this. No, he's not blind to it. He just enjoys the attention of multiple women while simultaneously being married. He's having an emotional affair. That is why he's letting this thing roll the way it's going. You know, he doesn't want the attention and pampering from this other woman to stop. And that's why he's dumping the problems that come along with it on you. It's up to you to put up with like the toxic behavior of this woman because he likes the attention. That's what he's doing. He's basically cheating in every way that isn't physical, and at this point I wouldn't be surprised if it's not physical too. Yesterday, he actually told me about how Sarah said our new house, which we spent months searching for, was charming in a starter home kind of way. In a poor people kind of way. He repeated this while laughing. She's insulting your house, throwing away wedding pictures, insulting cooking, insulting your work, calling your husband her like work husband. Okay, you're not the crazy one. You're not the crazy one. That's very established. I tried talking to him about it, but Sarah has convinced him I am just insecure. She's managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. They text constantly, even on weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She rearranged his entire desk and office wardrobe because his style was too suburban husband. That's what he is!
Oh my god, you're dressed as a married person, yuck!
Last week, I suggested marriage counseling. He looked genuinely confused. He of course went and talked to Sarah about it. I guess, you have to consult the office wife before going to marriage counseling. We all know the rules. I found out from another coworker that she's been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough patch and that she's just being a good friend by giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until he started his nonsense. The breaking point, I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday and Sarah was supposedly out sick. Guess who was there? Sarah. She had miraculously recovered and bought him a cake that said, "To my work hubby." Oh my god. I'm also so surprised that the husband isn't doing more to stop this. Because you could argue that obviously this work wife is all kinds of cray-cray and a homewrecker and an absolute piece of work and low-key a bully on top of it, right? But he's also the one who is actually married. It's mainly up to him to stop people coming on to him. He's the one in the relationship. And I'm also not sure why he endorses this. This like character from The Office feels like someone who's gonna go completely scorched earth if she gets turned down. Like this kind of behavior isn't someone who's gonna be like stable when you let it go on for too long and then cut him off. This is gonna be trouble at every single point of it, even if you cut them off now. Like, this is so stupid. With a photo of them from the office holiday party. Ooh, so romantic. She saw me and said,
"Oh, Amy, you came too. How nice. Mark, you didn't tell me your real wife was coming."
I'm not crazy, right? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage while my husband stands there grinning like it's all some big joke. What do? Divorce seems extreme. No, it doesn't. But I am running out of options here. I should have stated that the promotion wasn't one that would increase his salary, but his title. It would give him more leadership experience. It still blows my mind that he turned it down just so he could stay on the same team as her. I mean, that's pretty telling. I mean, it's a smaller promotion because there isn't a salary involved, so to say. Like, it's still weird. He's prioritizing her higher than his career prospects. I also should have told the mug story in its entirety. She accidentally broke the mug. Okay, but how did she break it? If it's very obvious someone else's mug, literally someone else's wedding photo on it, why would she be handling it to begin with? I noticed it was gone when I was visiting him one day and asked him about it. He said she accidentally knocked it over, and then later he repeated a joke she made about how it didn't fit the office aesthetic. It was totally an accident. This is an absolute dumpster fire. Ooh, we got an update! This is why I love showing up to these stories like a little bit later. It's like when you start watching a Netflix series and the entire season is already out. Update! My husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. Hi, I31F posted a few days ago here. I really didn't expect my post to blow up the way it did. Now to why everyone is here. The update. Before I talked to my husband, 32M, I decided to do some investigation. I started with his phone and read all the messages between him and Sarah. She badmouthed me a few times. He did nothing to defend me, but didn't engage either. She was flirty. He wasn't really flirty back. They talked a lot, and he praised her frequently for her work ethic and intelligence. I didn't see anything about cheating. Okay, sure, you could argue that he's not the one actively cheating. He's not sending flirty messages or whatever, but he's also not standing up for his wife. He seems to enjoy the attention from this woman way too much, so he's being so passive about it because he doesn't want it to stop. This is not someone you should be calling a husband at this stage. Don't get me wrong, it's one thing if someone is like low-key flirty at some point and you just play it off as dumb because you don't really want to engage with the drama. You're like, haha, oh my god, oh look, a squirrel! And you don't engage with it because you're not single. Perfectly fine. Everything doesn't have to be like a face-to-face, straight-up conflict. You can play things off because most flirting is usually pretty low-key. But this is something completely different, especially because she seems to be going after his wife and like bullying his wife and breaking things and insulting their house and doing all these kind of stuff like that. That goes past just like playing dumb to avoid drama with someone that is low-key flirty. She is very aggressively flirty and very aggressively a bully. That's a bit different. I checked his email, nothing. I checked his work email, nothing. I looked through our other devices, nothing. I searched high and low for a second phone, nothing. Everything I found was always dancing that line. Nothing was outright cheating. But here are the things I found that did hurt my feelings. He had lunch with her, and only her, every day in the office. They don't really like anyone else, so they will criticize others and say, "Let's talk more at lunch. They are serving XYZ today." He would say things like, "I am sure if you were a wife, you would XYZ." He always kept it as a wife and not my wife, but it still upset me. She admitted to breaking the mug on purpose. He didn't get upset with her, just said, "Yeah, the photo gifts are kind of corny." Okay, even if you don't want to label your husband as a cheater, he's low-key allowing an emotional affair to go on by his passiveness. Like I said, this isn't just him playing dumb because someone was flirtatious one time at a social gathering. It's like, it's kind of low-key, it's not really worth making a fuss about. So you just play stupid and you just run away, you know? That's perfectly fine. But this isn't what he's doing. He seems to be enjoying this attention too much and actively engaging with her every single day. And also, he's kind of inviting a bully into your life. This woman is like breaking things knowingly that has to do with your marriage and symbolizes that he is actually taken and married. She insults your house, she insults your work, she insults the food you make, and so on and so forth. So even if you yourself don't want to label your husband a cheater or whatever, even though I would argue that this behavior certainly would be hurtful, his passiveness is allowing this woman to do the things that she's doing, and he's actively not choosing his wife first. No matter how you want to label this thing, that is not husband behavior. I confronted him, I laid it all out, and while he wasn't upset, he did try to brush things off. He said I was being sensitive and overreacting. I told him if we didn't have a real conversation about this, I would file for divorce. That got his attention, and he sat down with me. He admitted that at first he found it odd that Sarah was trying so hard. He saw her trying hard with all the men in the office. The more attention she gave him, the more he enjoyed it, and the more he responded, the more attention she gave, until she just had her sights on him. He knew some of the other men were envious, and he liked that too. Yet you see, he's kind of admitting that he's letting this thing go on because he likes the attention of the little office troublemaker. You know, that's not the signs of a dedicated husband, okay? He admitted that eventually he just got in too deep. He said he knew it was wrong but had gotten addicted to the attention and didn't want her to move on to another man. Oh my god, dude, if you were really serious about like, oh my god, I took this too far, you know, it was fun to get attention or whatever, but no, then you would have just taken the position. You would have cut it off. When you realized that she was like, oh my god, she actually might be serious about this, you take the other position and you cut ties and you move away from it, okay? Like, Jesus Christ, you cannot be this passive and say that, oh my god, I accidentally got this deep. You're playing into it. You're playing into it, and you knowingly gave her more attention so she would focus on you instead of the other men in the office. Oh my god. So he indulged her sometimes at my expense. He said it was just nice to have two women in the two major part of his life, stating that he knew we would rarely see one another. So what's the harm? Holy sh**, he's just straight up admitting to like, yeah, it's nice to have an office wife and a home wife, you know, it's just, you know, two wives. Why not? He reiterated that he had never ever physically cheated with her, but admitted it could have been called an emotional affair. You think? It was painful, I won't hide that. I mean, really painful. Like, I wasn't enough. I told him from this point on, he needed to stop communicating with Sarah and ask to be transferred or switch jobs altogether. Now folks, I mean it when I tell you this. He lost his poo. Why? He admitted it went too far, and he was offered another position. Any reasonable person that felt like, oh gee, this person I'm working with is kind of taking the flirtatious shenanigans too far, and I got offered another position a bit further away from them, I'ma take that. That's pretty nice. I'm a married man. You know, that would have been a super easy solution to just get away from this, and also leaves you like a good excuse because this Sarah person sounds like it could be kind of unstable and stalky if push came to shove. But apparently he lost his What? He began raising his voice, saying things like he never cheated, it was all above board, and I couldn't control who he talked to while at work. But it's a different thing talking to people, like professionally, or as friends, or whatever, versus like actively indulging someone that is very much flirting with you every single day, and also at the cost of your wife. She is bullying your wife. He called me a narcissist and a control freak. I just wanted two wives. I don't see what the problem is. He told me I had no idea how hard it was, how much stress he had in the office, and that his personal relationship with Sarah helps a lot. Taking it away would just damage his mental health. But you're fine damaging your wife's mental health by allowing this, like, bully who breaks your wedding pictures and insults your home and drives your wife nuts into your lives. That's fine. So you're trading your wife's mental health for your own. Allegedly. It sounds like a bullshit excuse, but you're perfectly fine giving up your wife's mental health is what I get from this. It got so bad that I started crying. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to leave. I packed a small bag and called my mother-in-law, she's the only family I have here, and I gave her a rundown of what was going on. And she offered her home to me. That is really sweet. I'm staying here and just hoping my husband calms down so we can revisit this. I want to work it out. I love him more than anything. I will try harder to answer some comments on this post, and I will definitely update if something new happens. This has been really therapeutic and makes me feel less alone. Wait, hold on. There's a third update. Wait, this is from the same account. My husband's ex-work wife. Ex-work wife. Okay, so he did actually break it off finally. Damn, what a title. My husband's ex-work wife has started a smear campaign. I fucking called it. People that do this kind of stuff aren't just normal after you cut them off. Okay? I saw this coming a mile away. It blows my mind that other adults can be this, like, naive about how people operate. Holy shit, you know what I said about gut feelings? This is gut feeling galore. Okay, let's get into it. My husband's ex-work wife has started a smear campaign. Ex-work wife, holy shit. Hi Reddit, we are continuing our work wife saga. As a lot of you predicted in my last update, Sarah wasn't happy about my husband ending their friendship and trying to put a distance between him and her. I seriously thought she was going to reach out to me, but she never did. Why? Because this was never about me. It was not even on her radar except for somebody to tear down. I will give Sarah one thing. She is extremely efficient. She started her campaign long before Monday morning. Over the weekend, she reached out to several of my husband's co-workers, mostly male. She told them that my husband had randomly stopped being friends with her and she suspected it was my fault. Ah, she's doing that sort of smear campaign, turning the victim into the perpetrator. You know, it's not that I was trying to get this husband to cheat. Now it's the wife that is a control freak and made me lose a friend. Very convenient. And also, the wife isn't there to defend herself. Double convenient. She just felt bad for him. Wanted to be a friend for him and hopefully help him out of a terrible marriage. Oh, yeah, I could totally see why the wife is such a control freak and wants her gone. She just wanted to help him out of the marriage. She's literally admitting to trying to break you guys up. Are people actually buying this shit? She went on and on about how she couldn't believe how much of this is going to affect her during her working hours, that she couldn't know if she can continue working at this job. One of the female workers at my husband's job messaged me all of this. As a lot of you predicted, she is gearing up to accuse my husband of naughty harassment. Monday alone, she has put herself in the path of my husband multiple times. It kind of feels like she is setting up to do and he said, she said argument because she's doing a lot of odd things, at least according to my husband. Screenshot all of the exchanges. You know, the text that you said you read shows that she was obviously the flirtatious one and he didn't fully reciprocate, even though he was very passive in it, which is a bad thing, you know, in regards to his relationship to you. But in a professional setting, it means that he wasn't the one being flirtatious. He wasn't initiating something. He technically wasn't reciprocating that stuff. So save everything. Save all receipts. Think stuff like intentionally following my husband into a room or a section of the office that it's somewhat closed off, accidentally emailing him or forwarding him things, going to his cubicle multiple times a day for no reason, sitting close to him in meetings. It seems harmless, but really it feels like she is gearing up for something. My husband did go to HR first thing Monday morning, and like I kind of thought they were pretty much said that they can't do anything unless it affects work or working hours. His HR is not the greatest. Surprise. He did let them know that she was doing today, but honestly I don't think they took him seriously. We have been thinking about moving. The only thing that keeps us here is really his mom, so he might just transfer jobs? We're not really sure. I hope things don't escalate anymore since he went to HR already. I'm hoping nothing bad happens. I would like to give a little update about our counseling. To all the people who tell me that I'm making a mistake by giving my husband another chance and trying to work it out, I am so happy I don't listen to you. I understand it was a shitty situation, I lived through it, I know it is, I know how it felt. But counseling has revealed a lot about my husband that I didn't even know. Apparently he was bullied severely in high school and he kinda went through a little glow up when he went into college. Sarah is definitely one of those stereotypical blonde pretty girls, and my husband admits it did kind of feel like he finally got his chance to be popular in a social setting. My husband admitted that Sarah basically mirrored everything about him. His likes, his dislikes. She talked to him like he walked on water. It definitely sounded like she was boosting his ego in a manipulative fashion. Like I said, I understand this isn't a just forgive and move on kind of situation, but hearing my husband talk about how it felt and the way it affected him, it made me have a lot more sympathy for him. I mean, it is your relationship. It's totally up to you if you feel that this explanation or reason for these bad actions is enough for you to forgive him. And if you think it's enough and it doesn't happen again, then I wish you both the best of luck. I still haven't come back home, but we're doing it one day at a time. I went and had lunch with him on Monday, and I'm going again today. I'm trying to be there for him so he doesn't feel alone. I'm ready for all this to die down. I'm hoping it doesn't get taken further at work, and if it does, we'll deal with it. Girl, he needs to be there for you. This is his problem. He started this. He flirted with a girl and gave her false hope. Yes, she is crazy, but he needs to be comforting you. I'm actually baffled how it switched to making sure he is okay. Mans was okay when he had all the attention he wanted. I think that is a good comment. Don't let him off the hook that easily, even if your end goal is to make this work or whatever. He is the one who wronged you. He is the one who had an emotional affair. He is the one who let this person into your lives that was basically bullying you relentlessly. He is the one who blew up when you suggested moving positions to get away from her. He is the one that has done wrong on multiple turns in this whole situation, and also not seeing the red flags that this woman would be trouble after cutting her off if you let her on for this long. You know, people like this, like I said, don't act normally when you decide to cut ties. He has f***ed up so many turns, and just because he had a bad high school experience 15 years ago doesn't make it okay to treat his wife poorly. It can be a reason, but it's not an excuse, and that's a very important distinction to make. Like I said, totally up to you, obviously, your relationship and what you choose to do with it. Just don't get blindsided by it. Just don't let your hope of continuing this relationship allow you to be manipulated by your husband into feeling bad for him, like he was the victim in this situation. He is not. Maybe he has past demons that make him easier to manipulate or whatever, but he was still very much acting in this way because he enjoyed the attention. He's not some poor victim in the current timeline. Well, lotties, lasses, and lasses, I do hope you enjoyed this beautiful video of sharing the deepest, darkest things about your life with the internet. Oh yes, what could possibly go wrong? And I do hope to see you in the very near future in the next video, and have an amazing rest of your day because you do deserve it. Take care. Mwah.